I'm Ethan Cole. I'm 29 years old, and until a few months ago, I believed love mattered more than pride. I stand in my empty apartment now, staring at the blank wall where Lily's paintings used to hang, and I ask myself, when did I stop being enough? The silence answers me. I walk across the living room and whisper, "You built this for her." I did. Every inch of this place was for Lily Morgan. The soft lights she liked. The open shelves for her fabric samples. The spare room I turned into her design studio. "You don't have to do all this," she once told me, laughing as she twirled in the middle of the room. "I can work from anywhere." "I know," I said, "but I want you to have space to dream." She smiled at me like I was her hero. "You always believe in me more than I believe in myself." That was true. I believed in her fashion brand before anyone else did. I invested my savings into it. $50,000 without hesitation. Ryan Carter shook his head when I told him. "Bro, that's all your liquid cash," he said. "You sure about this?" "I'm sure," I replied. "She's gonna make it big." Ryan laughed. "Man, you're whipped." "I'm committed," I corrected him. Back then, I didn't hear the warning in his voice. I just heard teasing from the guy I trusted like a brother. Lily used to sit on my lap while I worked on my startup plans. "Your tech stuff is confusing," she'd say, tracing circles on my chest. "But I love how focused you get. And I love how fearless you are," I'd answer. "I'm not fearless. You are. You just don't see it." She would kiss me after that. Soft. Grateful. Or maybe I imagined the gratitude. I remember the night she got her first big order. She ran into my arms, screaming, "Ethan, they want 100 pieces." 100. "I told you," I said, lifting her off the ground. "You were born for this." She pressed her forehead against mine. "I couldn't have done it without you." Those words fed me. They made every long hour worth it. But somewhere along the way, things shifted. It started small. She began turning her phone face down. "Who's texting?" I asked once. "No one important," she replied too quickly. I forced a smile. "Okay." Ryan started coming over more often. At first, it felt normal. "You working too hard again?" he'd ask me. "Someone has to," I joked. Lily would laugh, but sometimes her eyes drifted to him in a way I couldn't explain. One night I said, "Let's have dinner. Just us. No work." She didn't look up from her laptop. "I can't tonight. Deadline." "You said that yesterday." She sighed. "Why are you making this hard?" "I'm not. I just miss you. I'm right here." But she wasn't. Not really. Later that week, I walked into the kitchen and heard her whispering on the phone. "I know," she said softly. "He doesn't notice." My chest tightened. When she saw me, she forced a smile. "It was just a supplier." Sounded serious. "It's business, Ethan. Not everything is about feelings." That hurt more than I expected. I told Ryan about it. "You're overthinking," he said, clapping my shoulder. "She's stressed. Big things happening." "You think so?" "Of course. She adores you." I wanted to believe him. So I did. But at night, when Lily lay beside me, facing away, I stared at the ceiling and wondered, why does it feel like I'm losing her while she's still here? I worked harder. I invested more. I gave her everything she asked for without question. "Are you tired?" she asked me once. "Doesn't matter," I said. "As long as you're happy." She didn't answer that. Now I stand alone in the apartment I built for her dreams, and I replay every moment I ignored. Every hidden text. Every canceled dinner. Every forced smile. I trusted her completely. I trusted him completely. And the night everything broke, I still believed she loved me. I wasn't supposed to be home until Friday. That's what Lily thought. My flight landed early, and I didn't tell her. I wanted to surprise her. I even bought her favorite chocolate at the airport. "Can't wait to see your face," I whispered to myself as I unlocked the door. The apartment was dark except for the bedroom light. Then I heard it. Laughter. Low. Intimate. Familiar. My chest tightened. "Maybe she has music on," I muttered. Then I heard his voice. "Ryan." "Relax," he said, laughing softly. "He won't be back until Friday." My heart started pounding so hard I felt dizzy. I stood frozen in the hallway, staring at the bedroom door. Lily's voice came next. "I know. I just feel guilty sometimes." "Why?" Ryan asked. "You said he doesn't even see you anymore." That felt like a knife sliding slowly into my ribs. I pushed the door open. The world stopped. Lily was in my bed. Ryan was beside her, sheets tangled around them. For a second, none of us moved. Then Lily gasped. Ethan! Ryan shot up. Bro! I couldn't breathe. My ears rang. My hands went cold. Ethan, this isn't what it looks like, Lily said, scrambling to pull the sheet around herself. I stared at them. Then tell me what it looks like. It's not. It just happened, she stammered. Ryan stood up, grabbing his jeans. Man, listen. We didn't plan this. I allowed a hollow laugh. Didn't plan it? My voice sounded distant, like it wasn't mine. Lily reached toward me. Please, just let me explain. Explain what? I asked quietly. How long? She hesitated. That hesitation hurt more than the sight of them. How long? I repeated. A few months, Ryan said, his voice low. I looked at him. He rubbed his face. I didn't mean for it to go this far. You didn't mean? My hand started shaking. You sat at my table. I have drunk my beer. You call me your brother. Ethan, stop, Lily said, tears filling her eyes. It's not just his fault. I turned to her slowly. So it's mine. She flinched. You were never home. You were always working. I was building our future. I felt invisible, she cried. You cared more about your company than about me. That company paid for this apartment. I shot back. It funded your brand. It gave you space to dream. I didn't ask you to sacrifice everything. Yes, you did. I whispered. Every time you said you couldn't do it without me. Ryan stepped forward. This isn't about money. I looked at him. Then what is it about? He swallowed. She felt alone. And your solution was to sleep with her? He didn't answer. Lily's voice broke. I didn't plan to fall for him. Fall. I repeated. You fell. Tears slid down her face. He listened to me. I listened, I said. You solve things, she snapped. He just heard me. I felt something inside me crack. So, while I was flying across the country pitching investors, I said slowly, you were here with him? Silence. The room felt smaller. The air felt heavy. My chest hurt, like someone was pressing a weight against it. Ryan tried again. We were going to tell you. When? I asked. After I paid for your honeymoon. Don't be like that, he muttered. Like what? Honest. Lily reached for my arm. Please don't walk away. We can fix this. I looked at her hand on my sleeve and felt nothing. Fix this? I asked. How do you fix betrayal? She sobbed. I never meant to hurt you. That's the problem, I said quietly. You didn't mean anything at all. Ryan's jaw tightened. Don't talk to her like that. I stared at him. You don't get to defend her. He looked away. I felt strangely calm. Too calm. I loved you, I said to Lily. I trusted you. I love you, she whispered. If you loved me, I said, you wouldn't be in my bed with him. She had no answer. I bent down, placed the chocolate on the dresser, and looked at them one last time. Neither of them spoke. I expected to scream. I expected to break something. Instead, I walked out. Ethan, wait. Lily cried behind me. I didn't. Say something. Ryan shouted. I closed the front door without slamming it. The hallway felt colder than usual. My legs barely held me up. My chest burned, but no tears came. When I reached my car, I sat there in the dark. My hands gripped the steering wheel. It was 2 a.m. I stared at my reflection in the mirror and whispered, I gave you everything. I didn't go back to the apartment. I booked a hotel that night and stared at the ceiling until sunrise. My phone kept lighting up. Lily, please answer. Lily, I'm so sorry. Lily, it didn't mean what you think. Lily, talk to me. I turned the phone face down. Then Ryan sent one message. Ryan, we didn't mean to hurt you. I laughed out loud in the empty room. You just slipped and fell into betrayal? I didn't reply. By morning, Lily had sent a long paragraph. Ethan, I was lonely. I felt like you cared more about work. Ryan was there when I needed someone. It just happened. I still love you. Please don't throw us away. Throw us away? I muttered. You already did. I checked out of the hotel and rented a small apartment across town. 1 bedroom. No memories. As I carried my suitcase inside, my phone rang again. Emma. I almost ignored it. Then I answered. What? My voice sounded rough. Ethan, you sound terrible, she said. What happened? Nothing. Don't lie to me. I stayed silent. She lowered her voice. Did she hurt you? I swallowed. Yeah. I'm coming over. You don't even know where I... Send me the address. An hour later, Emma stood in my doorway, holding grocery bags. You look like a ghost, she said. I'm fine. You're not. She pushed past me. When did you last eat? I don't know. She set food on the counter. Sit. I'm not a child. Right now you are, she said. Sit. I sat. Tell me, she demanded. Lily and Ryan, I said flatly. Emma froze. Ryan? You're Ryan. Yeah. Her jaw tightened. How long? Months. She exhaled slowly. I'm so sorry. I keep replaying it, I admitted. Their faces. The way she said she felt unseen. Emma crossed her arms. That's an excuse. Maybe I work too much. Did you cheat? No. Did you lie? No. Then stop blaming yourself. I rubbed my eyes. I want to destroy them. By doing what? I don't know. Expose them. Ruin his reputation. And then what? She asked. Will you feel whole? I didn't answer. Days blurred together. I skipped meetings. Marcus from my company called. Ethan, where are you? He asked. Busy. We're pitching Daniel next week. We need you. Handle it. You're the CEO. Marcus snapped. We can't do this without you. I hung up. That night, I opened a bottle of whiskey. Emma grabbed it from my hand. This won't fix you. Nothing will. She looked at me hard. You built a company from nothing. You survived worse than heartbreak. This feels worse. My phone buzzed again. A notification. I shouldn't have opened it. But I did. Lily had posted a photo. Her and Ryan. Smiling. Holding hands. Caption. Sometimes love finds you when you least expect it. My chest burned. Comments flooded in. You two are perfect together. Didn't she date Ethan? Guess she upgraded. I threw my phone onto the couch. Emma picked it up and read quietly. Her face darkened. She did this publicly? Yeah. She's trying to rewrite the story. It's working, I said. Everyone thinks I was the problem. Are you? I hesitated. I don't know. Emma stepped closer. Listen to me. You can fall apart, or you can prove them wrong. I'm tired. Then rest, she said softly. But don't quit. I stared at the wall. I saw Lily smile in my head. I heard Ryan's voice calling me brother. They think I'll beg. I whispered. Will you? I shook my head slowly. No, I said. I won't. Emma squeezed my shoulder. Good. That night, I opened my contacts. My thumb hovered over Lily's name. My heart pounded. Last chance, I told myself. I thought about texting her. Asking why. Asking if any of it was real. Instead, I pressed delete. Her name disappeared. I stared at the empty screen and said quietly, I'll rebuild. I sat alone in my new office, staring at the file on my laptop. Inside were emails, screenshots, financial details, messages Ryan once sent me about Lily's brand. Proof that could ruin them both. All I have to do is press send, I whispered. Marcus stood across from my desk. Send what? Nothing. He narrowed his eyes. You look like you're about to start a war. Maybe I should, I said. I could expose Ryan's shady side deals. I could tell everyone how Lily used my money to build her brand. And then what? Marcus asked. I'd watch them burn. He folded his arms. That's not you. You don't know who I am anymore. I know you built this company from scratch, he said. You don't win by throwing mud. I leaned back in my chair. They humiliated me. Then outgrow them, he replied. Before I could answer, my phone buzzed. Daniel Brooks. I almost didn't pick up. Ethan. Daniel's deep voice came through. Are you planning to attend the pitch tomorrow? Or should I assume you've quit? I haven't quit. Good. Because this is your last chance. I know. Meet me in an hour, he said. Office. Don't be late. When I walked into Daniel's office, he didn't offer me a seat. You look tired, he said. I've been busy. Losing focus isn't being busy. I stayed silent. He studied me. I heard about your situation. I don't need sympathy. I'm not offering sympathy, he said sharply. I'm offering perspective. I exhaled. My company is slipping. Investors are nervous. My personal life is a mess. And what are you going to do about it? He asked. I could destroy them, I admitted. I have enough to ruin reputations. Daniel stepped closer. And would that rebuild yours? I didn't answer. He leaned against his desk. Pain is fuel, Ethan. Use it. I looked up at him. Right now, your bleeding energy, he continued. Channel it. Focus it. Let your success speak. They made me look weak. Then become untouchable, he said. Not louder. Stronger. His words hit harder than I expected. I'm giving you one more investment round, Daniel added. but only if I see discipline. You will. Prove it, he said. When I returned to the office, I called a meeting. Everyone gathered around the conference table. I've been distracted, I said. That ends now. Silence. We're restructuring, I continued. Dead weight is gone. A developer raised his hand. What does that mean? It means if you're not contributing, you're out. After the meeting, I called 3 employees into my office one by one. I'm letting you go, I told the first. Wait, what? Because of deadlines. Because of performance. The second argued. The third begged. I didn't waver. Marcus watched me afterward. You're serious. I have to be. That night, I stayed at the office. At midnight, my phone buzzed again. Lily. I stared at the screen for a long time before opening the message. Why aren't you fighting for me? I laughed under my breath. Fighting for you? Another message followed. If you loved me, you wouldn't let me go this easily. My chest tightened, but my mind stayed clear. I typed nothing. Instead, I opened my laptop and reviewed our financial projections. At 2 a.m., Marcus walked past my office. You're still here? Yeah. He nodded slowly. This is different. I am different. Good, he said. When the building went quiet, I leaned back in my chair and whispered to myself, I choose growth. My phone buzzed again. Lily's name flashed across the screen. I turned it face down. I didn't respond. Revenue is up 30%, Marcus said, sliding the report across my desk. Good, I replied. Push marketing harder next quarter. He studied me. You're not even smiling. I don't need to smile. I need results. He nodded slowly. You've changed. I had to. Months had passed since that night. I slept in my office more than my apartment. I trained myself not to check Lily's social media. I stopped asking mutual friends about her. But news still reached me. At a small gathering after work, an old acquaintance leaned closer and whispered, Hey, have you heard about Lily's brand? I kept my tone neutral. No. She's struggling. Investors are nervous. Ryan tried to manage operations, but he's not great. I sipped my drink. That's unfortunate. They argue a lot, he added. It's not exactly private. I didn't ask for more details. I didn't need them. Later that week, Marcus mentioned casually I saw Ryan at a cafe yelling into his phone. About what? Money, I think. I nodded once. Focus on our product launch. Still, when I was alone, I felt something strange. Not joy. Not revenge. Something heavier. Why do I care? I muttered to myself one night. Because I used to be the one protecting her. The networking event was supposed to be simple. Shake hands. Exchange cards. Leave. I walked into the ballroom, wearing a suit I hadn't worn in years. I felt steady, controlled. Then I heard her voice. Ethan. I turned. Lily stood a few feet away, holding a champagne glass. She looked thinner, tired around the eyes. You look different, she said softly. I feel different, I replied. She gave a small, uneasy smile. You look good. Thank you. Awkward silence stretched between us. How have you been? She asked. Busy. You. She glanced down at her glass. It's been complicated. I crossed my arms. Complicated how? She hesitated. Business is hard. You knew that. It's different when you're alone. You're not alone, I said calmly. You have Ryan. Her jaw tightened. It's not like that. Isn't it? She stepped closer. He's intense. He wants control over everything. You like strong personalities. Not controlling ones, she shot back. I studied her face. So you fight. Sometimes. How often? Ethan, she sighed. Why does it matter? It doesn't, I said evenly. You made your choice. Her eyes searched mine. You're so cold. I'm clear. She swallowed. You don't even ask if I'm okay. Are you? She opened her mouth, then closed it. Not really. For a second, I felt the old instinct rise inside me. The urge to fix it, to protect her. I pushed it down. That's not my responsibility anymore, I said. She flinched. You used to care. I cared when it was my place to. Her voice trembled. Ryan isn't who I thought he was. I raised an eyebrow. And who did you think he was? Someone who understood me. And now, he gets angry when sales drop. He checks my emails. He says I owe him because he invested. I felt a flicker of satisfaction. Then guilt followed right behind it. Why are you telling me this? I asked. Because you never made me feel small. she whispered. I let that sit between us. You made me feel invisible, she added. I built your studio, I said quietly. I funded your first collection. I know. I skipped meetings to attend your shows. I know. Then don't rewrite history to justify what you did. Her eyes filled with tears, but she didn't let them fall. You've changed, she said. I had to, I replied again. She looked around the room. People were watching us, pretending not to. Are you happy? She asked. Yes. With work? With myself. She inhaled sharply. I didn't think you'd move on so fast. It wasn't fast, I said. It was necessary. Silence settled again. I thought you'd fight for me, she confessed. I fought for you every day we were together. She lowered her gaze. For a brief moment, I wondered if I still loved her, or if I just missed the version of myself who believed in forever. Do you ever miss us? She asked. I miss who I was, I admitted. Not what we became. That seemed to hurt her more than anything else. Ryan's voice echoed from across the room. Lily, she stiffened. You should go, I said. She looked at me one last time. Uncertain. Smaller. I didn't think you'd stand this tall without me, she murmured. I didn't either, I said. And for the first time, I realized the balance had shifted. She looked unsure. I stood firm. I was in the middle of reviewing contracts when Marcus rushed into my office. Have you seen the news? He asked. No. What happened? He turned his laptop toward me. Lily's brand just got hit. I scanned the headline. A rushed overseas production deal. Poor quality. Customers furious online. She partnered with a factory that cut corners. Marcus said. Clothes are falling apart. Who approved it? I asked. Ryan, apparently. I leaned back slowly. Of course he did. Marcus hesitated. Investors are pulling out. I nodded once. Focus on our rollout. That night, Emma showed up at my apartment without warning. You heard? She asked. Yes. She crossed her arms. It's worse than that. What do you mean? I met Ava, Lily's assistant. I frowned. Why were you talking to her? She reached out to me. Emma said. She knows we're siblings. About what? Emma's jaw tightened. Ryan's been using Lily's company funds to pay off his personal debts. I went still. What? Before the scandal. Before the public drama. He's been moving money around for months. Does Lily know? She just found out, Emma replied. Ava showed her the statements. I exhaled slowly. So he wasn't just reckless. He was stealing. Looks like it. A strange silence filled the room. Emma studied my face. Say something. This is karma, I said quietly. Do you feel good about it? I opened my mouth and closed it. No. She hurt you, Emma reminded me. I know. And he betrayed you. I know. But you're not smiling. I'm not that person. My phone rang. Lily. Emma looked at the screen. Are you going to answer? I stared at her name, flashing. My chest tightened. I don't know. The phone kept ringing. Answer it, Emma said softly. I picked up. Hello. Her voice was broken. Ethan. I closed my eyes. What happened? You know what happened, she sobbed. Everything is falling apart. Tell me. Ryan signed that production deal without telling me the full terms. The quality is terrible. Customers want refunds. Investors are threatening lawsuits. And the money? I asked carefully. Silence. You know? I continued. She inhaled sharply. You know about that too? Yes. I didn't know, she cried. I swear I didn't know he was moving funds. I believed her. You were the only one who ever protected me, she whispered. The words hit deep. I warned you about risky expansions, I said gently. You said I was too cautious. I thought he was bold, she admitted. I thought you were holding me back. I was trying to steady you. I see that now, she said. I was stupid. I felt the old instinct rising again, the urge to step in to fix it. Can you help me? She asked. Just advice. Just one conversation. I remember the bedroom. The laughter. The lies. Ethan, she pleaded. What about Ryan? I asked. He says I'm overreacting. He says it's temporary. And the debts. He won't talk about them. I let out a slow breath. I don't know who he is anymore, she said. You didn't know who he was before? I replied. That's not fair. Neither was what you did to me. Silence. I deserve that, she whispered. My heart pounded. I could almost see her sitting somewhere alone, surrounded by chaos. I don't want to lose everything, she said. My brunt, my nom of myself. You made choices, I said carefully. They have consequences. I know. You chose him. Her voice cracked. I chose wrong. I pressed my fingers against my forehead. I can fix this if you guide me, she insisted. You understand contracts. You understand investors. I understand betrayal too, I said quietly. She started crying harder. Please. I looked at Emma. She watched me without speaking. For a moment, I imagined walking back into Lily's life, cleaning up the mess, being her shield again. Then I imagined standing in that doorway months ago. I can't, I said. Ethan, I can't save you anymore. The words felt heavy but clear. She went silent. I'm sorry, she whispered after a long pause. I hope you figure out, I replied. When I ended the call, Emma stepped closer. Are you okay? She asked. I nodded slowly. I can't save her anymore, I repeated, more to myself than to her. And for the first time, I understood that letting go was its own kind of strength. 10,000 downloads in the first hour, Marcus said, staring at the live dashboard. I leaned closer to the screen. Refresh it. It's real, he said, grinning. We did it. My chest felt tight, but this time it wasn't pain. Push the update announcement. It's already trending. The office erupted in cheers. I didn't shout. I just closed my eyes for a second and let the moment sink in. Months of sleepless nights. Doubt. Discipline. Daniel walked in an hour later. Impressive, he said simply. Thank you. He looked around at the team. This is what leadership looks like. I met his eyes. You gave me one last chance. You earned it, he replied. Pain is fuel. Remember? I nodded. I used it. He stepped closer. You didn't just survive. You evolved. That word stayed with me. Evolved. A week later, I signed papers in a quiet office downtown. The realtor slid the contract toward me. Congratulations. The apartment is yours again. I held the pen for a moment. You sure about this? Marcus had asked earlier. Yes. I signed my name. Walking back into that apartment felt different this time. The walls were bare. No paintings. No fabric rolls. Just space. I'm not building this for anyone else, I said to myself. I'm building it for me. At the official launch party, cameras flashed as I stepped onto the stage. A reporter asked, Ethan, what changed between last year and now? I did, I answered. How? I stopped chasing approval and started chasing growth. Daniel stood beside me when another reporter said, Your investor once doubted you. Any comment? Daniel smirked. I doubted his timing, not his potential. I laughed lightly. Fair enough. After the interview, Marcus leaned in. You're trending again. For the right reasons this time, I said. As the party filled with investors and media, I felt steady. Calm. Then I saw her. Lily stood near the entrance, wearing a simple black dress. She looked hesitant, like she wasn't sure she belonged there. Ryan wasn't with her. I walked over. You came, I said. I wasn't sure if I should, she admitted. You're here now. She looked around at the crowd. This is huge. It's the result of hard lessons. She swallowed. I heard about the apartment. News travels fast. You bought it back? Yes. Her eyes flickered. You always loved that place. I love what I thought it represented. And now it represents me. She studied my face. Ryan and I broke up. I didn't react. I heard rumors. He blamed me for everything, she said. The investors, the backlash, and the missing funds. He says I should have checked the accounts. I nodded once. That sounds like him. She shifted her weight. You look untouchable. I'm just focused. She lowered her voice. You moved on. I had to. Her lips trembled slightly. I didn't think you would. I didn't think I would either. Music pulsed softly in the background. People laughed nearby. It felt like a different world from the one we once shared. I misjudged you, she said quietly. In what way? I thought you were too dependent on me. Too emotional. I gave a small smile. I was loyal. I thought you'd break without me. I did, I admitted. For a while. She looked surprised. But breaking forced me to rebuild better, I added. She glanced toward the stage where my company logo glowed brightly. I thought you'd fight for me, she whispered. I fought for us when it mattered. She had no answer. You don't need me anymore, she said. I held her gaze. I never needed betrayal. That seemed to hit her deeply. You became everything I underestimated, she murmured. No, I replied calmly. I became everything I was supposed to be. She looked smaller somehow, standing in the light of my success. For the first time, I didn't feel anger, only distance and strength. She asked to meet the next day. Just coffee, she said over the phone. No drama. I almost refused, but something in her voice sounded stripped of pride. So I went. She was already sitting when I arrived, hands wrapped around a cup she wasn't drinking. Thank you for coming, she said softly. I don't have long. She nodded. I'll be honest this time. I stayed silent. She took a breath. I didn't cheat because I stopped loving you. I felt my jaw tighten. Then why? Because I felt small next to you. That's not an answer. It is, she insisted. You were rising so fast. Investors, interviews, growth. I was scared. Scared of what? That I'd become irrelevant in your world. I stared at her. You were my world. I know that now, she said. But back then, I felt like I was chasing you. You never told me that. I was ashamed, she admitted. Ryan, he fed that insecurity. In what way? He'd say things like, Ethan's going to outgrow you. Or, he cares more about success than about you. I let out a slow breath. And you believed him. At first, I didn't, she said. But then you started working longer hours. I was building our future. I know, she whispered. But I twisted in my head. She looked down at her hands. Ryan made me feel chosen, like I wasn't behind. And that was worth destroying us. Tears filled her eyes. I didn't think you'd ever leave me. That line hit harder than I expected. You didn't think I had limits? I asked quietly. I thought you loved me too much to walk away. I leaned back in my chair. I did love you that much. Her voice cracked. I know. Silence settled between us. I thought I could explore something else and still have you, she continued. I thought you'd forgive me. You thought I was weak. I thought you were safe, she corrected. That's not the same. She wiped her face. When you didn't fight, when you just walked away, I realized I'd misjudged everything. I remembered our early mornings, her laughter, the way she used to hold my hand during stressful meetings. For a moment, I saw the girl I fell in love with. Do you ever think about how we used to be? She asked. Yes. And I think about the version of us that didn't lie. She closed her eyes. I was insecure, she said again. I hated feeling like I needed you. You didn't need me, I replied. You had me. She looked up sharply. That was the difference, I continued. I chose you every day. You chose doubt. She reached across the table. What if I choose you now? My heart pounded. Ethan, she whispered, can we start over? I didn't answer right away. I remembered her running into my arms after her first big order. I remembered her voice in the bedroom, saying I didn't notice. I remembered the silence when I asked how long. You broke something fundamental, I said finally. I'll fix it, she promised. I'll prove it. It's not about proof. Then what is it about? Trust, I said. And once that cracks, it never sounds the same again. She shook her head. People make mistakes. Yes, I agreed. And they live with them. Her breathing became uneven. So that's it. That's it. No anger, she asked through tears. I already went through that stage. No yelling. I don't need to yell. She stared at me like she was seeing me for the first time. I lost you, she whispered. You let me go. I corrected gently. Her shoulders started shaking. I didn't just lose a boyfriend, she said between sobs. I lost my anchor. I stood up slowly. You didn't lose an anchor, I said calmly. You lost the man who would have stood beside you no matter what. She covered her face. I felt sadness, but not regret. I hope you find stability within yourself, I said. Then I walked away, carrying peace instead of pain. I didn't expect Ryan to show up at my office, but he did. Marcus stepped inside first. You've got a visitor. Ooh, you're not going to like it. Before I could answer, Ryan walked in without knocking. Ethan, he said sharply. Marcus looked at me. Want me to stay? I'm fine, I replied. Marcus left, closing the door behind him. Ryan stood there, tense, jaw tight. You've been busy. With work, I said calmly. What do you want? You know what I want. No, I replied. Say it. He scoffed. Don't play innocent. Lily left me because of you. I leaned back in my chair. Because of me? You got her head, he snapped. You made her doubt everything. I didn't need to. She kept comparing me to you, he continued. Your discipline, your planning, your so-called integrity. That sounds like her realization, not my manipulation. He stepped closer to my desk. You enjoyed watching us fall apart. I didn't watch anything, I said. I was building my company. You think you're better than me now? I think I made different choices. His hand slammed against my desk. You turned her against me. I stood up slowly, not angry, just steady. No, I said clearly. You destroyed your own life. He froze. You signed reckless deals, I continued. You moved money that wasn't yours. You blamed her when it collapsed. You don't know everything. I know enough. His eyes burned with frustration. You always acted superior. I acted responsible. She loved me, he insisted. She loved attention. I corrected. There's a difference. He clenched his fists. You think you won? This isn't a competition. It is to you, he shot back. You wanted revenge. If I wanted revenge, I said quietly, I would have exposed you months ago. His expression shifted for a split second. I had the proof, I added. I chose not to use it. Why? He demanded. Because I don't build my success on someone else's downfall. Silence filled the room. He looked around at the office, at the framed articles on the wall, at the awards on the shelf. You think this makes you untouchable? He asked. No, I replied. It makes me accountable. His phone buzzed. He glanced at it. Then his face drained of color. What? I asked calmly. He didn't answer. Another buzz. Then another. I watched him read the notifications. They're investigating the accounts, he muttered. Whose accounts? I asked. He looked up at me, eyes wide. I didn't report you, I said evenly. But numbers leave trails. He swallowed hard. This is because of you. No, I replied. This is because of you. For the first time, I didn't feel anger standing in front of him. I didn't feel betrayal either. I felt distance. You had everything, I said quietly. My trust, my friendship, a chance to build something real. He stared at the floor. And you gambled it away. He backed toward the door. This isn't over, he muttered. It is for me, I answered. He left without another word. A few hours later, Marcus rushed in again. It's all over the news. I know, I said. Financial misconduct. Frozen accounts. Potential charges. I nodded once. Marcus studied me. You okay? Yes. No anger? Not anymore. I looked out the window at the city below. For the first time since that night, I felt nothing pulling at me. No rage. No jealousy. Just space. The final shift had already happened inside me. I stood by the floor-to-ceiling window, watching the city stretch out beneath me. The skyline looked sharper than ever. Quiet. Ordered. Mine. Emma leaned against the doorway, arms crossed, a teasing smirk on her face. You got that look again. Someone new. I shook my head, but a small smile crept in. Nothing worth noting. Nothing, she laughed. I've seen that look before. Patient. Calm. Like someone finally figured you out. I sighed, turning back to the skyline. Maybe. Emma pushed off the doorway. Sophia Bennett. That's her name. She's been stopping by the office. I froze briefly at the name. Sophia. Patient. Kind. Doesn't rush you. And she laughs at your terrible jokes, Emma said, nudging me. Honestly, I think you like that. I let out a small laugh. Maybe I do. The sunlight hit the glass just right, reflecting off the chrome desks and polished floors. I felt a weight I hadn't realized I was carrying lift. 1 year. 1 year of rebuilding, refocusing, and surviving. Later that afternoon, I wandered into a cafe on a quiet street, intent on grabbing coffee. I didn't expect to see her there. Lily. She sat alone at a corner table, a notebook open in front of her, hair pulled back loosely. Her face looked tired, lines deeper than I remembered. Wiser, too. Our eyes met. She didn't flinch. She didn't look away. I thought you'd never move on, she said softly, almost a whisper. I didn't, I replied, keeping my voice low but steady. I grew. She studied me carefully. I could see her processing what I had become. Not angry, not broken, not desperate. I see that now, she said. I misjudged everything. I hope you're learning from it, I replied gently. Life doesn't wait for anyone. She nodded, a small, sad smile forming. I hope so too. I turned away, leaving the cafe behind, stepping out into the sunlit streets. Every step felt lighter, more deliberate. I felt the city hum beneath my feet. The offices, the contracts, the team, everything I had rebuilt, everything I had earned, it was mine, and I had earned it without anyone's betrayal dictating my path. As I walked, I could feel her eyes on me, watching the man she had underestimated for so long. But I didn't look back. The wind lifted slightly, carrying the distant sounds of traffic and life. I breathed it in deeply. Freedom, control, growth. She had wanted me to break, to crumble without her. Instead, I had built a life she could never touch. I smiled faintly, quiet, resolute. She thought I'd break without her. Instead, I became everything she could never take from me.